He's got a good PR guy, hasn't he?
Well, so did the royal family. They all seem to have very good PR guys.
No, I think the royal family have had terrible PR over the years, but that's a different debate. I mean, the point is, this, Narinder Kaur, thank you for joining me. I know that you have been supportive of Harry and of Meghan.
Yes.
But to constantly go on international media to be abusive about your brother, his wife, your father, to do this again and again and again,
well,
and to claim, hang on, and to claim that you have to do it in public because they won't listen in private. Let's face it, he's doing it for the money, isn't he?
Well, what's wrong if they're doing it for the money? They've got bills to pay. There's nothing wrong with that. Media makes money from Harry and Meghan. Why shouldn't they make their money? They've got bills to pay. They're not sponging from the taxpayer.
Morally,
they're not
making money slagging your own family off.
Well, no, because
and slagging your country off.
Well, no, King Charles and Prince William are doing underhand. This is a story of betrayal.
Absolutely.
Prince William has been very naughty.
The betrayal
is from Prince William.
The betrayal was that Harry walked away. He was born to a life of privilege, but a life of duty as well. He walked away from it. He walked away from it.
Should I tell you why he walked away? Because it took marrying a biracial woman for him to realise how racist the institution he was in. He thought, no, you cannot deny.
This is so wrong.
Nigel, how can you deny the racism? How?
Do you know how? Very simple. I think they had an absolute fairy tale wedding. I think the country took to them in the early months as she toured in Brixton and wherever else it was.
Yes. She did a great job.
The tabloid media, everyone was behind them. They chose.
Until when?
They chose to go to the other side of the world.
No, but why? Because they were being bullied. They were constantly being harassed. Yes, you may say the country took to them, but actually the minute a biracial woman wasn't as subservient as in white spaces, as soon as Meghan wasn't the person you wanted her to be, and a strong black woman, that was it. People had enough.
Good evening, everyone. Let's talk about betrayal. Not the kind you find in a Shakespearean tragedy, or the kind that plays out in the final season of a messy reality show. No, let's talk about a betrayal much closer to home. The kind that comes wrapped in tradition, hidden behind palace walls and disguised as duty. This is the story of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. In the spectacle of Harry and Meghan, the world witnessed a betrayal splashed across front pages, dissected in headlines. But this wasn't just gossip fodder. This was a deeper violation, a story as old as time, the crushing weight of institutions against the vulnerability of the human heart. We love a fairy tale. The prince, the seemingly common girl, a love defying expectations, it's irresistible. When Harry, a prince grappling with his own demons, found Meghan, a woman of strength and compassion, it felt like a fresh chapter for a centuries-old institution. Here was a chance to embrace modernity, to reflect the changing face of a nation. But the whispers started early. The side eye in photographs, the barbed comments disguised as concern. This wasn't just about a wedding, it was about the very soul of a family, a nation, grappling with change it wasn't ready to face. The world watched, captivated, as the narrative twisted. What began as a celebration of love became a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the power dynamics that simmer beneath the surface. The betrayals were layered, insidious, the casual cruelty of indifference, the deafening silence of those who should have spoken up. This wasn't just about one couple. It was a mirror reflecting our own capacity for unkindness, the ease with which we allow prejudice to fester. Harry and Meghan's love story was a breath of fresh air for the monarchy. Here was a prince who had known loss, who had grappled with the expectations of his birthright. And in Meghan, he found a partner who not only understood, but embraced his complexities. She was a woman of substance, an actress with a voice she used to advocate for others. She was a breath of fresh air, a modern woman who challenged the very notion of what it meant to be a royal. Their wedding was a global event, a celebration of love and a testament to the power of hope. But beneath the surface, a darker narrative was already taking root. The scrutiny on Meghan was relentless, fueled by a toxic mix of sexism, racism and classism. Every outfit, every smile, every public appearance was dissected and judged. The tabloids, hungry for a story, painted her as difficult, demanding, a threat to the very fabric of the monarchy. This wasn't just about a few negative articles, it was about a sustained campaign to undermine and discredit Meghan. The attacks were personal, often bordering on the delusional. She was accused of faking her pregnancy, of being manipulative and calculating. The venom directed at her was shocking, revealing a deep-seated prejudice that permeated society. This was a woman who had dared to challenge the status quo, and the establishment was not going to let her forget it. The stark contrast in how Meghan was treated compared to Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, exposed the blatant double standards at play. Kate, a white woman from a privileged background, was embraced by the media and the public alike. She was held up as the epitome of grace and elegance, her every move scrutinized but rarely condemned. Meghan, a biracial woman from a working-class background, was held to a different standard from the outset. Her every move was analyzed, her every word twisted. The media seemed determined to paint her as the antithesis of Kate, too loud, too opinionated, too different. The message was clear. She didn't belong. The double standard extended beyond the media. Meghan was subjected to racist and sexist abuse online, with little to no condemnation from those in power. The palace, often quick to defend other members of the royal family, remained silent in the face of this onslaught. Their inaction spoke volumes, signalling a tacit acceptance of the abuse directed at Meghan. This wasn't simply about two women, it was about a system that perpetuates inequality, that protects those who conform while ostracizing those who dare to challenge the status quo. It was a stark reminder that privilege is often invisible to those who have it, and that the fight for equality is far from over. Perhaps the most insidious betrayal came not from the headlines, but from the hushed whispers within the palace walls. The royal family, an institution built on tradition and hierarchy, seemed ill-equipped to handle the complexities of Meghan's arrival, let alone the maelstrom of negativity that followed. Their response, or lack thereof, was deafening in its silence. While the tabloids spun tales of rifts and feuds, the reality was far more tragic. This was a family fractured, unable to bridge the gap between their ingrained sense of duty and the very human need for support and protection. It was a case study in the dangers of unchecked power, the way institutions can become so consumed by self-preservation that they lose sight of the individuals they are meant to serve. The silence was particularly deafening from those who could have made a difference. A word of support, a public condemnation of the racist abuse. These were small acts that could have spoken volumes, but they never came. Instead, the palace remained tight-lipped, hiding behind a wall of protocol and tradition. History is littered with examples of institutions failing to protect their own. The tragedy is that in this case, the warning signs were there from the beginning. The royal family's inability to shield Harry and Meghan from the storm spoke volumes about their priorities, and the human cost of their silence was immeasurable. Harry, who had witnessed firsthand the devastating consequences of a life lived under the relentless glare of the spotlight, knew he had to act. His mother, Princess Diana, had been hounded by the paparazzi, her every move scrutinized and exploited. He had seen the toll it took on her, the way it chipped away at her spirit. He was determined not to let history repeat itself. His decision to step back from royal duties was not made lightly. It was an act of defiance, a refusal to play by the rules of a game that had become toxic. He chose his wife, his family, his own mental well-being over the gilded cage of royal life. It was a decision that sent shockwaves around the world, challenging the very foundations of the monarchy. In that moment, Harry wasn't just a prince. He was a husband, a father, a man determined to protect those he loved. His actions resonated with millions who understood the impossible choice he faced: duty versus love, tradition versus freedom. It was a stark reminder that even those born into privilege have the right to choose their own path, to prioritize their own well-being. The world watched as Harry and Meghan charted their own course. They carved out a new life, one free from the constraints of royal protocol and the relentless scrutiny of the British tabloids. Their journey was a testament to the power of resilience, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, hope and happiness are possible. Maybe the real betrayal wasn't leaving. Maybe the real betrayal was making them feel like they had no other choice. And that, dear friends, is the story not of a runaway prince and his Hollywood wife, but of two people who dared to say, "Enough, thank you."